Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Happy Meadow Tales. I'm your host, Steve Kitts. Robbie and Benny meet the deer family. As the golden rays of the morning sun bathed Happy Meadow in its warm glow, Robbie and Benny were out for a usual stroll when they spotted the majestic sight at the end of the forest. It was a family of deer emerging from the trees, led by a proud buck with a magnificent rack of antlers, followed by a beautiful and graceful doe and two young bucks. Robbie's ears perked up with excitement, and Benny's tails twitched and with curiosity as they watched the deers approach. They exchanged a glance. Their eyes sparkled with anticipation. "Look like we have some new neighbors, Benny," said Robbie, with a big smile across his face. Benny nodded eagerly. "Well, let's go welcome them to Happy Meadow." With a spring in their step, Robbie and Benny bounded over to the deer family. Their hearts were filled with warmth and hospitality. "Well, hello there," Robbie said, calling out cheerfully as they approached. "Welcome to Happy Meadow." The buck, Don, turned to greet them, his antlers towering above them like a crown. "Well, hello, little ones," he said in a deep, rumbling voice. "Thank you for the warm welcome." Dawn, the doe, smiled gracefully, her eyes reflecting the kindness in her heart. "It's a pleasure to meet you," she said softly. Brandon and Christopher, the young bucks, bounced around their parents. Their eyes were wide with wonder as they looked at their new surroundings. Robbie and Benny introduced themselves with enthusiasm, eager to make the new friends feel at home. "We're so glad you're here," Benny explained, his tail swishing excitedly. "Happy Meadows is the best place to live ever. There's so many others that you should meet, and maybe you could join us for an afternoon picnic." Don nodded appreciatively. "It certainly seems to be a beautiful place," he said as he cast his gaze across the meadow. "We've been traveling for quite a while, and we're excited to explore our new home." Now Don added that their old home was nice and cold, not like this hot weather we have here. Robbie and Benny offered to show the deer family around, eager to share their favorite spots and hidden gems in the meadow. They spent the day together exploring the sun-dabbled glazes and babbling brooks of Happy Meadow, sharing stories and laughter along the way. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the meadow, Robbie and Benny knew that they had gained more than just new neighbors. They had gained lifelong friends. Don and Dawn talked about the place that they lived before was always cold, and there was snow most all the time, and that they really missed the freezing cold weather. They thanked Robbie and Benny for the gracious offer to join them in Happy Meadow, but they wanted to follow their hearts and return probably back to the cold wastelands that they were from. As they bid farewell to the deer family, promising to see them again soon, Robbie and Benny felt a sense of joy and contentment washing over them. They knew without a doubt they had made some friends in that deer family, and they might see them again once the weather turns off cold. For in Happy Meadow, where every day is an adventure, and every friendship is cherished, and they knew that they were surrounded by love, laughter, and the beauty of nature. And as they watched the deer family disappear into the forest, their hearts were full of gratitude. Robbie and Benny knew that they were exactly where they were meant to be, home in Happy Meadow. "The deer family can keep that cold weather up north where it belongs," said Robbie. Benny hugged himself as if he got a chill. They laughed and they giggled, and they headed back home. The end.